Well, New Year starts with a bang, as it usually does, with the wonderful find that Ms. Creepshow Art has made a video. I mean, if you want to call it that. So, we start our year off with the greatest offering anyone can offer us, which is a stunning 2-hour lobotomizing video from a piece of shit, essentially. I don't know what exactly possessed her to do so, or why she felt like this is the day. Today's the day, I'm gonna post it and it's gonna be exquisite. I don't know why she thought that was good. She had no one look over this content, I guarantee it. She just said like, I'm gonna do it, and once I post it, it's gonna be out there in the world and it's gonna be all good. You needed 6 people to look over that damn video, because that was a whole mess. So this video is gonna be a little bit different in the sense that I'm not gonna be recapping the whole 2.5 hour lobotomizing excuse of a video. I refuse to. Simply because you can put the whole of that content in a 10-minute video, if not less. The only reason why is because Shannon decided for whatever reason, before the year ends, I'm just gonna absolutely dump out my Emily Artful hate wank bank on the internet for everyone else to enjoy, and no one liked it. Nobody liked that. No one even asked for that. I didn't consent to seeing that. And yet I saw it. All of it. I watched that video 3 times. That is 7.5 hours I'm never gonna get back from my life. And to be frank, I want a fucking refund. To be perfectly frank, just don't watch the video. There are so many other content creators who have surmised it better than I ever could. Do you know what? I'll do you all a favour and link them all in the description so you can enjoy them. Point being is that video is a waste of time and quite literally explains nothing. It is quite literally, as I said, it's her Emily Artful hate wank bank. And that was it. Consider this video an open letter to Creepshow Art. Dear Creepshow Art, what the actual fuck are you doing? Like, I really need to know, what was your intention for making this video? Because you could argue, well, this was just me doing a mic drop. This was me doing the whole kind of like,
I'm done and you'll never see me ever again because I'm out of here. I don't even want to be here anyway.
Just so you know, I've noticed this throughout my many years of watching people on YouTube. The people who do this whole routine, oh, that's fine, I wanted to go, I don't even want to be here anyway, are usually the ones who have the most to lose, but they just want a safe face. And I feel like that's exactly what Shannon is in her mind attempting to do, but she did almost the opposite and confirm that she's a shit person. If anything, the video she posted a few days ago proves that all the stalking allegations were correct, because who keeps this much information? Side note, I know I said I wouldn't talk about the video a lot, but I just have to make this point really quickly. People wonder why she had to make it. One of the theories is that if after 6 months of inactivity, YouTube actually takes away your monetization status, so you need to like reapply for it. And people weren't too sure if Creepshow could reapply for it or if she was successful in reapplication. So this is arguably like a way for her to keep her monetization. Not saying it's a good way, I'm just saying it's one way. I think there is some truth to it. YouTube still does probably make her a little bit of money. That video, despite it probably getting ratioed to fuck, will make her some money. Second reason is kind of like to ruin New Year's for Emily, mainly. Some people also think that maybe it's like a redemption video to kind of like prove that you liked a bad person. I'm going to show you all the bad things that this person has done by going as far back as to when they're 13 years old. Now, I'm going to have a confession here. I wasn't a perfect 13-year-old. I used to get into fights with people on the internet who hated Nickelback. Now, whether or not they were serious, I couldn't tell at 13, but I would go to verbal warfare for Chad. I would go to verbal warfare for Chad. And this is the thing I don't understand. Why are you trying to use information or receipts that are nearly as old as the people that watch your videos? I'm talking like 17, 16 years old, and try and be like, see, look, this is relevant to now. It's not relevant to now. None of it's fucking relevant to now. The reason why Emily's evidence was so much stronger than yours is because she pulled it out from being like, oh, this was 2 or 3 years ago. This was fairly recent. This was information that I can like date to at least being in this decade. And then you're just sitting there like, oh, well, she said this really problematic thing in like 2014 and she called these people ugly and fat. Can you believe that? What a disgusting, awful fucking person. Another thing that I was thinking about was, and again, I could be wrong, so this next bit is just me thinking aloud in this open letter. I was under the impression that if Shannon was ever going to make a comeback, if she was going to be talking about how her stalker, Amy, we'll get to that in a second, how her stalker, Amy, managed to make a lolcow account or post on lolcow via her IP address or her computer and say all these horrible, terrible things about Shannon, but also Shannon's friends, and also like shit on these people who Shannon was, you know, seemingly close to in parasocial relationships, right? That was the impression that I got, that when she was going to come back, she was going to have it all nice and legal and pressed and primed and said, like, this is my stalker's doing. I didn't say these things, it was my stalker, Amy. Amy said these things. Amy posted this from my computer, and Amy did all this bad stuff. It wasn't me, couldn't have been Shannon, because I'm just the nicest person ever. So either that story didn't pass publishing, or Shannon forgot that that's the reason why she went away in the first place. It wasn't anything that Emily did. You could argue Emily was the final nail in that coffin, but Shannon, you were the one who built the fucking coffin. You were the one who went on this fucking anonymous shit-talking website, shit-talked your friends, made these posts that quite literally aged like milk, where you said, I would never disrespect my friends. I would never be rude to my friends behind their backs. I would never say a thing about my friends behind their backs, when it turns out you were. And then when you got found out for it, you came up with the most bogus story that anyone could have ever possibly have like imagined, which was just like, guys, it was my stalker, she did it. The most bogus story ever. And then you forget that that's the reason why you even left in the first place. In fact, I think that was, you even put that on your old Instagram. You literally left like a little story that said, guys, I'm gonna come back when I have evidence of my stalker, and you come back with this. Did you forget? Did you, what, you had 6 months to ruminate that much and you decided to just blame it all on Emily when it was really you? Side note, just to point this out, I did see this on Twitter, so this isn't my original thought and idea. I don't know who you are, but kudos to you, because this is actually a clever point. Someone made the point, Shannon could have really easily said, oh, because me and my husband share a phone, it actually wasn't me that posted that stuff, it was my husband. But you didn't want to do that, did you, Shannon? The answer was right there. An easy scapegoat, and you didn't want to take it because, God forbid, someone make Anthony look bad. If Anthony cries, God save us, right? God fucking save us. I'm gonna drink this shit before it spills all over the place. Even then, after Shannon had about 6 months to like ruminate on this and think of like a good way of coming back and apologizing, she chooses just to pick on Emily because it is in her mind the easiest and probably the best way to go out. Something else that I think should be considered, especially when, I don't know, deciding if you think if Shannon does make a comeback and then she actually does apologise for all of this. I don't think it is going to happen, but let's just pretend that she does. To ruminate on some other stuff as well. Shannon, when she was coming close to kind of like her downfall, because let's be frank, a lot of YouTubers, not just one person, it was quite a couple of them, were openly saying that Shannon was being very reckless in how she you know, positioned her power, because by, I don't know, I'd say sort of about like May time last year. It's weird I can say last year when it was only like 7 months ago, but last year, she was already quite powerful in the sense that she could say this person's a bad person and her audience would go, yes, they're a bad person, and then they would go and shit on their Twitter page. Which, can we just agree as adults now, can we stop doing that? Even if you're a child, my piece of advice to you is don't do that. It's not worth it. As someone who used to go to verbal warfare for Nickelback, it's not worth it. They're not going to see it, and even if they did, they're going to be like, why are you getting so involved? It's weird. Why are you doing this? So my piece of advice is simple. Don't do that, man. But also, if Shannon said like this person had like harassed me and doxed me, she could provide little to no evidence and we would all assume she was correct because she has been correct about other things in the past before, but also she, you know, appears like a really nice person. Then the Hopeless Peaches drama started with Prison Mate Luke, all that stuff. I'm not getting into it. Shannon also has a lot of other apologies to make. It's not just to Emily for this completely bogus video that she put out, but also to the friends that she inevitably hurt with her words, or people that she inevitably hurt. Other people she needs to apologize to are also people that she like forced false allegations. And for example, there are a number of drag queens, and I do not remember their names, unfortunately, so I'm very sorry, that she accused them of having her friends' nudes and sex from when he was under the age of 18, so that classifies as child pornography, and then they distributed it out on Twitter, so that's distribution of child pornography. Yet I never saw, from, if memory serves me correct, I never saw a statement from Shannon or a video saying, I'm formally apologizing to these particular queens when I did this and I said it when I was actually in a very highly emotive state. She never did any of that, okay? People liked, when Shannon was considered popular and like a nice person to watch, people always said Shannon always, which makes me laugh now, Shannon always admits when she's wrong. Really? If that's the case then why can't she admit that all the lolcow posts were actually her? But also, why are we letting random fucking people online who have nothing better to do with their time be our moral compasses? No, be your own moral compass, for fuck's sake. Build up your intuition yourself. Do it yourself. Closing statement for the letter. Shannon, you have, intended to or not, let people down with your final mic drop video that had no actual mic drop in. If anything, the video you published a few days ago does confirm a lot of the stalking allegations, because you quite literally posted every piece of hate that you could on this one person. Some of it not even pertaining to the allegations. Your whole point was just to try and make them look like a bad person, which, to be perfectly frank, you didn't really do successfully, because you literally said, look at this child, look at the way this child is, ew, what a disgusting child, not look at this adult, which is what Emily did. And I would say she did a hell of a lot more successfully than you did. So, point number one to end on, you're stupid and you fucked up. Point number two, the fact that you're allegedly leaving YouTube now forever and we're never going to see you again, because even if you were going to leave, you'd give your channel some kind of like estimated time of deactivation, or you would maybe say at the end of this month I'm going to get rid of all my videos, but you can't for whatever reason. Maybe it's because you still use YouTube as a revenue of income. Fine, I don't care how you make your money. Just do it honestly, man. Another thing is, there are so many things that Shannon, if she was truly going to be seen as like a redeemed character, should apologise for, such as the whole lolcow dilemma and the fact that you did because I do believe that she said all those things. You said those things, you tried to cover your ass by using your alleged stalker, who I personally suspect isn't as involved with your life as you try and make it out to be. The fact that your stalker may not even exist, because I distinctly remember in a video in which you spoke about her, you said that you gave her the name Amy as an alias. You never said that was her real name, but in that little video mess you did, all the emails that you said this is proof I have a stalker were all from someone called Amy. You have upset a lot of people that you even considered your friends, that you would be overly sycophantic towards on social media, especially Twitter. You would fucking love bomb the shit out of people, and now that you're gone from their life, what, that's it? That's all you're gonna do? Fine. Do that way. Be like that. The amount of baseless accusations you made against other YouTubers for literally the dumbest fucking reasons ever. Hopeless Peaches is a perfect example of that. But do you know what the biggest crime of all is? Do you want to know what the absolute, like, the most unforgivable thing out of all of this shit is? You still kept your fucking disgusting, ugly ass merch store open. Why? Who's buying your merch still? I need to know. If you're watching this and you bought, as of like, I don't know, yesterday, which would have been the 2nd, if you bought something from the 2nd of January onwards that is a Creepshow thing, I need to ask why. Why did you do it? Why did you buy it? What possessed you in that moment? What physically, like, inhabited your body? That's a wrong gesture. What physically inhabited your body to the point where you were like, I need to go and buy one of the stickers? Painful to look at. Whether you want to admit it or not, Shannon, you were the one that constructed the coffin and put quite literally nearly every nail in. You made it fully functional, you lined it as well, and you were ready to get cremated. But it was Emily who put the final nail in. You just jumped right in and set the trigger off yourself. You did all of this to yourself, whether you want to admit it or not. And if I'm honest, that is probably something that you can't handle. You can't handle the fact that you did this to yourself. You are your own biggest enemy, and you were the reason for your downfall. Have a nice life. Happy New Year. And I don't think I'm the only one in saying I hope we do not see you again on YouTube. Nevertheless, keep safe and keep far away.